Hi guys, welcome to another SLTV Wrestling Roundtable podcast. We are here as always. This week with Money in the Bank being imminent, we've decided to go back a little while and do a Ultimate Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We've done a few of these in the past. They're always a fun time. We kind of I think we half stole the idea of WWE, but none of us have actually watched the ultimate, like, whatever pay-per-view that they're doing. So we've kind of seen the title and thought, oh yeah, we'll build our own one of them. So I don't know if it's the same. I don't know if it's different. I don't know. Neither of us have watched it, and I'm not entirely sure anyone can anymore because it was on the network. I don't know if they've moved over to YouTube or not. But anyway, I'll throw it around the table and we will get into it. Adam, you all right?
Yeah, mate. I think all those episodes have disappeared into the ether, like all the episodes of the Bump and
No.
stuff like that. Like not much is going
I
on
miss
these days.
Table of Three, I miss that.
Mm,
Table of
they've
Three
got to
was,
resurrect it somewhere, aren't they? They've got to sort of.
yeah,
They've got
Road
all this
Trip was
content.
good, whatever it was called.
yeah. I miss Table of
Ride
Three.
along.
Ride
Ride
Yeah,
along.
Along, that was
ride
good.
along.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Table of Three was probably my favorite show on there, I think.
Mm.
Watch that all day. But yeah. Callum, you all right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. For eagle-eyed viewers watching this episode on YouTube will notice that I am recording from a different room.
Yeah.
Um,
Looks like Bin
y-
Laden's cave. What's going on?
oh great! I might pull the curtain back across so you get to see the
Oh
window
God.
behind me. Hot start to that.
Is
I
it too
wonder
soon?
whether
Is that too soon to say that? It's
I
like
wonder
20
whether
years
in his
old.
cave
I'm just. It's the Bin Laden's cave reference and the fact that you threatened to possibly put in a Money in the Bank ladder match that had a certain wrestler in it. And it's like this
don't,
episode might
don't
get
worry.
binned straight away.
Welcome to my life.
Don't worry, he's in mine.
Oh
Not
no.
not Benoit, not the other guy that we've just mentioned.
Right, okay. All right.
I mean,
Honestly, I can't remember
this
when Bin Laden climbed a
conversation,
ladder.
this conversation has completely gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Um, yes, for ego viewers, I'm in a different room because the room that I've used for about 4 years for this podcast, we are renovating.
Ooh.
So I'm back in my room, and rather than having a photo or the LOLO box in the background you can see a bottle of Bulbasaur oil. If you
Nice.
want to sponsor us, Bulbasaur, you can, and that's
Nice.
going off to the side, so it's not annoying me throughout the podcast.
Alba soil, funny. What are you doing to the room? Is it like getting a full, is it just getting like decorated or is it getting all like, you
I'll be
know?
honest, I have no idea because it's more of like an ensuite sort of area for my parents that they
Ah,
turned into an office
just
probably
like a
about
mini room.
25 years ago. So it's
Is
just
it
like,
becoming a podcast studio?
no, no, that's the
Oh,
last thing it's going to become. I've taken up that room for far too long now, so I've been sent back into my evil lair.
Your dad's talking about his favorite veg and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I assume that's what dads do when you get to a certain point, just talk about how much you like veg. You know what I mean?
No, Stella Artois in this
There you
case.
go. Oh, favorite beers. I'd listen to that. Favorite beers podcast. You know what I mean? Just call it Callum's dad. You know what I mean?
Callum's dad's beers.
Yeah, Callum's dad's beers. So basically, the premise is, I will explain. We each built our own card from previous Money in the Banks, like pay-per-views. We could include Money in the Banks that happened at WrestleMania, but no other matches that were happening at WrestleMania. Only the Money in the Bank, if you so wish. The card contains a men's Money in the Bank, a women's Money in the Bank, two world titles of like any sort, we can say. So men's, women's. I assume we haven't done. No one's done two WWE title matches or something like that. They've
No.
the
No,
different
no.
titles, yeah. A tag match that could be a title match or a non-title match. I feel like I feel like all of us have got the same one for that one. And a singles match, which could be a mid-card title or a non-title match. Right? So that's what we're doing. That's how we roll. Um,
Have we all got six matches altogether?
Yeah, 6 matches.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
Right.
count then. Yeah. So if we start with Hmm. Right. We'll start with the women's and end with the men's.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
that fair? Because that's usually
Mhm.
what they do. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is your women's Money in the Bank match, Callum?
So my women's Money in the Bank match is last year's, and it was between the winner Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Naomi, Lyra, and Zoe Stark. So initially, I wrote down the one from 2023 because I sort of remember the infamous finish of Io winning and Becky and Bailey were both sort of handcuffed to the ladder. Because I thought that was such a creative finish for just a Money in the Bank match in general. But then I went back and watched last year's, and last year's just took it up a notch in terms of the brutality. Like
Hmm.
we saw Chelsea get shoved off a ladder or fall off a ladder through the two tables on the outside. We saw Io hit like almost like a power slam onto Zoe through the ladder. And it was a little bit like when Homer gets punched and like his back lands on like the edge of the fire hydrant. It was just so painful and brutal to watch. And for me, it was that first Money in the Bank match from the woman that made it feel like, oh, they're getting like really physical here, and they're doing spots that the men were doing 10, 15 years ago. And it just had like the right blend of talent there, where you had Lyra, who had only just joined the main roster. You had Zoe Stark, who, yes, whilst had been on the main roster for over a year, it was like she was there out on her own and doing some crazy things. You had Io Sky, who won the briefcase the year before. Naomi, who I guess was like the most recognizable name in that match. Like there was no sort of high profile contender. There wasn't anyone in there like a Becky Lynch or a Bailey or a Charlotte Flair that you feel when they're in the match like the spotlight's going to be on them. There was no one here that felt like an outright favorite. And yeah, all six of them shone and delivered some incredible spots that we hadn't seen in the 7, 8 year history of the women's Money in the Bank match.
Nice. I like it. That was my second pick. Um, did you pick the same one, Adam?
I did.
Did you? Oh, right. Well,
I
this has
did.
made it really easy.
It
I
has made it
picked,
easy.
yeah, I picked the 2023 one actually. And it was out of the two of them. And I think it was more, ended up going with 2023 more because I loved that EO one, first of all.
Mm.
Mm.
Um, and the whole dynamic of like the Tish and Zoe Stark dynamic and the damage control, like all do. Who is this?
That is my child who is not even in our house trying to FaceTime me.
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal.
Well, live, pal.
I won't mind, but it went off everywhere. I've got my iPad there, my laptop here, my watch on, and my phone's
I
there.
thought it came out of my computer, like out of my laptop. I was like, is
Yeah,
that me? How have
yeah,
I done that? That's impressive. Whatever's going on, that's impressive. Um,
chaos.
so yeah, I did 2023, I think more because I just preferred the people. I preferred the women in it. I preferred the winner. So we had Io Sky, Becky Lynch, Bailey, Trish. Trish as well being in there was a big thing. Um, Zelina Vega and Zoe Starks. Um, yeah, I just thought it was like it was just boss from start to finish. And I know like last year's really, really was as well. But yeah, it wasn't really hard for me to pick my women's. My women's kind of like was quite easy considering the amount of changes I've made through this. Um, but if you've already done 2024, that's in it. That's not even a
Yeah.
discussion. So
Yeah.
tell me why you picked 2024.
I remember as last year when we reviewed the show that we said that this was probably the best women's Money in the Bank ladder match that there'd been. But then I do remember us in 2023 saying it again at that point. So again, it
Yeah.
was the more recent ones that I was definitely looking at for the women's. This is the most recent match I've got on my list. I don't have another match from that card, but it was definitely up there when it came to sort of thinking about who it was that I was going to pick, and I
Wait,
think
wait, wait,
just the
wait,
way
wait.
that we've
You haven't got another match from this card.
no,
Okay,
why have
sorry.
you?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh
I
no, I
don't think
haven't.
what that.
No, no,
Oh,
sorry, I haven't. No, I
Bloody
haven't.
hell,
No, I
man!
haven't. Yeah, sorry. No, I haven't. I haven't. Sorry.
Anyway, and
Sorry.
just the way that we're doing the ultimate card, is that this was actually, I think, one of the easier ones to pick because I didn't have to spend too much time thinking about whether or not I've already featured a wrestler in that match in another
yeah.
match somewhere else.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like just the idea of just on paper, you've got Io in there who won it the year before. Obviously, Tiffany went on to win this one. Chelsea Green's in there, Naomi, Zoe Stark, and Lyra Valkyria. So there's a lot of up and coming names. There's a lot of sort of big spots for certain people in that match as well. And yeah, it was a good Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, I think the last two have been like very, very high quality. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I feel like they're getting to that point now where, like, I know it's like already been announced, but we've mentioned it a few times where the the idea of them doing an evolution pay-per-view, yeah, an evolution pay-per-view, like, would work now. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? A lot better than it would have when they actually did it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like the caliber and the amount of people and the amount of women, I suppose, and all stuff like that. I think it would be a solid pay-per-view. It wouldn't like back then. It was like a bit of a novelty. I feel like
Yeah.
now it can like it's a thing that could genuinely work and be a thing going forward. Right. So oh, hang on. So I've got two world title matches. Right. Is
Hmm.
the one of your world title matches, which is clearly a bigger match than the other one.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I've got a WWE Championship match and I've got a Universal Championship match.
Right, okay.
Okay.
I have got a world title match and a women's title match.
Oh,
Okay. I've got a WWE Championship match, and what on earth it was called in 2016 match.
What was it in 2016? The
It was like
world.
it was prior to the Universal title being a thing. So it was like
Okay.
the WWE World
oh,
Heavyweight
yeah,
Championship.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, well
yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna do a world title match next. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whichever one you think works at this point in the show, and
Mhm.
we'll figure it out. All right. So our world title. Wales one, we'll call it because you've got
Mhm.
two.
World War.
Adam, what is your Wales title match that you will put in this spot on the card?
Well, I think purely because of the people that I've got in my Money in the Bank men's match to come on later,
Yeah.
I'm gonna not do my Universal one now.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my WWE Championship match now.
Okay.
And my WWE Championship match is from Money in the Bank 2012, and it was a no disqualification match between CM Punk and Daniel Bryan.
Why is Callum got his
Because I
head
get
in
the
the sand?
feeling that that's Callum's.
My WWE Championship match is also from 2012 between CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. But seeing as I talked about the previous match for women's in 2024, I'll let Adam take the reins on this one.
Okay, before you say this is really
Yeah.
awkward, um, but my WWE title match is from 2012. We've all picked that match, right? And I will, with the small, tiny, like caveat of I originally built this Ultimate Money in the Bank pay-per-view around Cena versus Punk. I was like,
Yeah.
Cena versus Punk has got to be in there. And
Mhm.
then slowly but surely, I was like, this isn't going to work if that's in this mat in there.
Mm.
Like, it's just not going to
Yeah.
work at
Yeah.
all. Like these we locked ourselves in too well
Hmm.
for us to have that match and also have a decent singles match
Yeah.
and a decent like Money in the Bank, which I'm still not sure about my Money in the Bank to be completely honest with you. And everything else sort of had to be moved about way too much. So
Yeah.
I so neither of us or none of us, all three of us, none of us have got CM Punk John Cena.
No.
No, no.
But did we all go into this and think that's probably the match?
Yeah, I think I wrote it down first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And then ultimately it began that thing of looking at other matches that were on other cards and trying to figure out. I mean, at one point it came down to me wanting Punk in my Money in the Bank match,
Mm.
yeah,
where it was then I can't have this match, because I looked at obviously like Punk was in the 2020 the Mania 23 one, the Mania 24, Mania 25, so there
yeah,
was all those that I was considering. It was in one of my favorite ones, which when I remember it got announced, I had it as like my sort of header picture on Facebook for a while because it was like Punk, Christian, Orton, Sheamus, RVD from like 2013.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
was like, look at all these stars in this match. Like, this
yeah.
is like a dream Money in the Bank ladder match.
Mm.
It was the one where RVD came back.
Yes.
So I was like, I need to have that one. But then I was thinking, well, no, because what I want to do is I want to have Punk in a sort of big headline match. And then by choosing this match, you then get Daniel Bryan in there as well, which
Mhm.
again was difficult because there were Money in the Bank ladder matches where I thought I'll pick that, but Daniel Bryan's in that, so I can't have that. Um, so like of the sort of the trilogy of matches that these two had on pay-per-views or PLEs in 2012, this is probably my second favorite behind the match that they had at Over the Limit, where the Over the Limit match was stunning. It was a sort of it's the one match where I say I'm not a fan of technical wrestling, but I look at that match and I go, that match is fantastic. This is a more add-on match where it's let's have a no DQ stipulation. We'll backdrop each other through tables.
Yeah,
We'll do all this kind of stuff. Like Daniel Bryan's wearing like khaki green, like almost like cargo shorts, like he's in the sort of war or something like that. And it was a very solid match, and they worked around the fact that they had a no DQ stipulation and the AJ storyline
yeah.
pretty well.
Yeah.
And
I
again,
will
it was sort
say
of
before like I say about what I like about this match, the lead into this match and the storyline going into this match is fucking awful. Like the whole AJ wanting to marry them both, and it was just terrible. I remember watching it thinking, this is terrible. And then I watched the package for it and was like, Jesus Christ, this is terrible. Like the fact that they use this storyline to have these two in a program together is
Mm.
absolutely bananas. Like
but
it,
it didn't even start that way because the over the limit match they had was purely out of like
yeah,
Brian's just number one contender and it's Punk, and it was like, oh, let's get this good match on a PLE because
yeah,
you know we need to bolster the undercard of that PLE because it was headlined by John Cena and John Laurinaitis. So let's pick up everything else that we can pick up.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden they went, well, we're carrying this on. We may as well get a woman involved. You
yeah.
know,
It's mad. Absolutely mad. Like I forgot, to be fair, I forgot how insanely hot AJ was, first of all. I was just like, wow, shiboinkle. But yeah, that's the only thing. I was so close to not putting this match in because I was like, the storyline behind it just annoys the life out of me, and it annoyed me 14 years ago, whatever it was that it was happening. I was just like, what is this absolute shiz that we're watching here? But then the match, I was like, so good. Like
yeah,
it's just like, even as you said, the way they do it, where it's like they don't go all out like balls to the wall with the no DQ stuff, but it's just enough to be like, oh, this works. This is cool. It's all good. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, go on. Sorry, I just
no, yeah, no. It was a really good match. And again, when it came to trying to get certain people on the card, because again now like my John Cena match is probably it's that thing of like oh God, what do you call it? It's totally gone out of my head. There was a phrase that I want to say, and it's totally gone out of my head. And yeah,
yeah.
it's to do with like getting rid of others, and yeah,
I don't know what you're talking
I don't
about.
know. I don't know. It's like when you want something or when you pick something and you get rid of all the other options first.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I don't know what it's called, but yeah,
No,
yeah. You shit on that. Callum, what did you
it's
say?
right on the tip of my tongue. I'm going to think about it.
Okay. What made you pick this match?
By process of elimination.
There you go,
There you go.
elimination. That was the words I was thinking. There you go.
I mean, that's
Callum.
exactly why I picked this match by process of elimination. I wanted Punk on my card. I couldn't have Punk Cena because I've put Cena. I the singles match. I'll just say this: the singles match, whether it can be for a mid card title or no mid card title, was really difficult because there's been a lot of stinkers in that
Yes.
mid card division.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal sticks out as the biggest stinker from
I mean,
2018.
we had a couple of Ryback matches we could have picked from.
Yeah.
Fine,
Yeah.
but so going with Punk Bryan was like, well, I'll go for that one because I want him on my card.
Mm.
Um, about 24 hours ago, I was like, I'm going to change my Money in the Bank match because I don't want to pick the match that's got that certain person in it. I'm going to pick WrestleMania 23 because it was the first Money in the Bank match I watched. I'd written it down. That's a really good match. Let's flick through the rest of my card. No duplicates there. No duplicates there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I've still got Punk versus Bryan. And I just chucked away my other Money in the Bank match just to go back to the first one. I mean, I was dead certain that Punk Cena was going to be on all of our cards, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's almost like a tier above Ultimate somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and to
Was it
make this
almost the
work, yeah,
expected choice which made us sort of go, let's be a bit different. Let's pick
yeah,
something a bit different, you know?
yeah. That can be, next pay-per-view. That can be SummerSlam, Ultimate SummerSlam card.
Oh, the
Uh,
SummerSlam match was terrible. Don't do that.
okay, well,
By
that's fine.
proxy. By like not by proxy. By like comparison. Um the the SummerSlam match that they had versus the Money in the Bank match is not good. It's not good at all. Like no. Anyway, you can have it if you want. Sure, cars, I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
No, mate. Go on, sorry. Go on.
Have we done
No,
an Ultimate SummerSlam before?
Uh, you talk about the match and I'll let you know.
I
Oh,
mean,
I
coming to
wonder
you in
what we are doing.
August, the Ultimate SummerSlam podcast. There you go, already
There you
done.
go. Boom.
Um, no,
We
it's this.
should do Ultimate Evolution.
Maybe maybe women's match. Let's go. Hmm.
But no, I don't have to add anything else on this match. Yeah, just a really strange time, 2012. That's all I'll say. Really strange
Hmm.
time. John Laurinaitis seen a main eventing over the limit. The whole, yeah, I just thought if 2011 was the summer of punk, 2012 was the summer of love.
Oh,
It was absolutely bizarre with the 2012 and the way that it went because like the one thing I do remember keep coming back to with Punk's title reign, the 434 reign, was like no matter the fact that he was champion, he didn't actually main event a lot of pay-per-views. Now some were by proxy, so like you get to Royal Rumble 2012 and that's main evented by the Royal Rumble match, and you think, all right, okay, that's sort of again by proxy. He was in the opening chamber match of that chamber, the chamber that year. Cena Rock main evented WrestleMania, so then you think, right, well, he's going to get Extreme Rules, surely. Nope, that was Cena Lesnar. He's not getting No Way Out because that's Cena Big Show. He's not getting Over the Limit because that's Cena John Laurinaitis. He's not getting Money in the Bank because it's the Money in the Bank match that John Cena's in. So, like, where does it? And then it ended up being Night of Champions 2013 because that was when he faced Cena again. And that, again, just ended up being the proxy.
Yeah,
Sorry, 2012. I should say
2012.
not 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2013. I said 2013, and then Daniel Bryan flushed through my head, and it was like, yeah, that's not happening. But yeah, um,
as far as I can
I,
tell, no, we haven't.
right. Well, looks like we're doing that then. Right.
But we've done Rumble, Mania, this now, and Elimination Chamber.
So we've got a SummerSlam and a Survivor Series, really. That's
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
right.
okay. What was all?
Right.
Yeah.
I say let's do tag team match.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like it's gonna be another landslide for this tag team match.
See, I don't think it is.
It can't be anything else, surely. All right. Is
All right.
your tag team match fairly new?
No.
Is yours, Callum?
What do you classify as new?
Like the last few years?
Yeah, mine's the last few years.
Okay. So, right. All right. So, is yours, Adam, is yours for a tag title?
hmm
Callum, is yours for the tag title?
Yeah.
You two are on your ass, I'm telling you.
Ooh,
Ooh. See,
You,
I
now
know.
bear in mind, right, that I'm assuming I know what yours is, Ty.
I thought I knew what everyone's was.
And I'm assuming it's also a match that I gave 5 stars to when we reviewed it.
I think that's very possible, yes.
Now, again, I did write that one down,
Okay.
but caveat being, I also had my tag team match, which
Yeah.
features a team
Mm.
that is in this other match, and I was then looking at my Universal title match, so it kind of scuppered it.
Okay. So are you thinking you two have got the same one?
No, I know what Adams
No,
is.
Okay.
so mine was technically on a pre-show,
Oh, right.
but
Okay.
it was one of them matches where it was like, why the hell is this on the pre-show?
Yeah.
Usos versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan
Right.
in 2014 for the tag
Yeah.
titles.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wasn't the pre-show one with the Shield on as well?
yeah.
Is that the one you've picked?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Because again, I got very close to that one,
Yeah.
but then I needed people elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you've okay. So what's yours, Callum?
So I've gone from 2022, the Usos versus the Street Profits. I remember the 2022 pay-per-view not being very good, and
Yeah.
this match standing out so much because of how dire the rest of the show was. Um,
I don't want to be that guy
uh-oh.
who's a bit of a dick, but I really don't remember that match.
Don't you?
Seriously.
I thought you were gonna be
Oh,
like, oh no, you can't have it because of this. What?
was this the one that was it the month after where they had the one with Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah, I think Jarrett was SummerSlam 22, and this was Money in the Bank,
So
obviously,
this was
because that's what we're
before
talking
that.
about.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, this was before that. I remember this match just basically blowing everything else on that card out of the water.
I
Um,
do remember the match. Like,
I'm gonna go back, I think, and have a look.
it's
okay.
about like 20 to 25 minutes. I mean, I'm not going to
Oh,
sell the match very well by saying I actually fell asleep during it the first time.
Originally, so
Originally, I nodded off to sleep, but after rewatching it, this was like just towards the start of the Usos sort of tag run that takes them into WrestleMania 40. Sorry, no, WrestleMania 39 when they lost to Owens and Zayn. And this is sort of right around that corner where the bloodline is picking up to hit that next level. From memory, I don't think Sammy was involved in this match. But I mean, the way that the Usos are just going, great match after great match as a tag team, and they sort of really hit that stride again because obviously, towards the end of 2020, early stage of 2021, sort of, I think it was Jimmy that was out injured, and Jay was the one that was facing Roman at the end of 2020. And then they sort of just get back together during 2021, but it was really all of 2022 they just dominated that SmackDown tag division. And I think, yeah, they've won the. I'm probably getting my years wrong now. I'm trying to remember. Had they beaten Orton and Riddle yet for the Raw tag titles? Was that at Backlash or some sort of time around this?
that would have been the Mania that had Reigns and Lesnar on, so that would have been 2020.
That was 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a feeling they must have been sort of like unified tag champions as well by this time. So
Probably. That sounds about right.
they'd
Yeah.
beaten Orton and Riddle sort of about the month before. So we were just, as I said, we were hitting that peak of them, and just the overall dominance of the bloodline with Roman as undisputed world heavyweight champion, and then the Usos as the unified tag champions.
Mm.
Yeah, interesting. So what was yours, Adam?
So mine was the Usos versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan from Money in the Bank 2014.
Right, so we've got 2014, 2021,
Two.
2, and I think we all know what mine is now. And we've got the Bloodline Civil War
Yeah.
Mm.
in 2023.
Which, no
Okay.
matter which way you look at it, it's the Usos.
Mm.
Oh yeah, like literally the greatest tag team going. I'll be honest.
But when we're looking at doing a joint fantasy ultimate Money in the Bank,
Hmm.
I can't have yours because I have Roman Reigns elsewhere.
Yeah, I can't
But
have yours because I've got Roman Reigns elsewhere.
okay, all
So
right,
then
okay,
I think you have to pick between mine and Callum's then.
okay. But if this happens first on the card, then
Roman Reigns is pulling double duty.
wha-
And de-aging
okay, all
about
right.
7 years.
All right, so we won't make a an actual decision on the tag
Oh,
match.
until okay.
Mm.
Right, is that fair? I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be honest with you. I feel like I know what match you two are talking about, and my match isn't going to be that good because it's a women. I just wanted the women's title match on it, and it was slim pickings, lad. I'll be honest with you. It was slim pickings.
Yeah, because I mean, at one point I almost wrote down. I think it was AJ. It wasn't AJ. There was a Nikki Bella match. I think it was Nikki Bella and Paige that I almost
Yeah,
wrote down.
yeah.
Yeah, where I thought, oh, I need a women's title match on it.
Yeah,
Um,
I was like, I want a women's title match, so that is going to be my second world title match if it kills me, right?
yeah,
Right, so I'll just say now, right? Because if we do this, if we do the second world title next,
yeah.
right? I'll get this out the way because obviously this is the range match you two are
And
talking
then
about.
after that, we've got a singles match and we've got
Yeah,
a
and then we've got a
Money in the
men's
Bank ladder
right.
match.
So, we'll leave the tag where it is for a minute. You
Mm.
two are still both on your ass if you think either of those matches are better than the Bloodline.
It's not necessarily about that we think those matches are better.
I'm
It's
just
just that we
saying.
have Reigns elsewhere.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
just saying. You're
I was going to say
ridiculous.
I've made my
Um,
opinions very clear on non-Money in the Bank matches main eventing,
yeah, that's fine.
which is why my world title match main evented.
All I'm saying is, use it on your ass. All right. My second world title match is from 2021, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte. Um, because as I say, slim pickings. But this is a really good match. It's not their best match, but it is a really good match. I think their best match is probably it was at Royal Rumble when they just battered each other. Um, the most recent time.
They had a good Mania match,
They had an
but
Yeah.
alright. Yeah.
Adam's going to
So
veto it straight away because of one of the competitors.
No, like it's not even a Charlotte thing. My veto is more because it's an empty arena.
it's not.
Not in 2021. That's
Is
the
it
first one
not?
back.
No.
Oh, okay then. Never mind.
You watched any of Money in the Bank? Do you remember any of it?
Yeah, but it's been a while since 2021.
I'm just saying. No, yeah, it was a really good match. I watched it recently. Oh, like yesterday, recently. It was weird
So
seeing
was
me.
this the it was the year after Charlotte picked Rhea
Yeah,
Yeah.
after she won the Rumble, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
So
Rhea was actually on the main roster then, wasn't she?
Hmm. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So Rhea with short blonde hair and a million less tattoos is weird. First of all, like proper bizarre. But yeah, like I think this was, as I say, it was the history of women's title matches in on Money in the Bank is not good. I'll be honest with you. It's really, 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 really poor. And then I think the year after this, they didn't have a title match. They had was it a tag match with Ronda and somebody? Is that right?
That was
Was it
23. 22
23.
was Ronda versus somebody because Liv cashed in on Ronda.
Oh yeah, who was it? Was it
was it
like
Ronda and Nia?
possible?
That was the Alexa year. That was 18.
Oh
Unless they did it again in 2022, which is
yeah,
very possible.
Ronda and someone which I weren't gonna pick because that Ronda run was awful. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know what last year was there one last year? I don't think there was one.
No, there was the women's Money in the Bank. Don't think there was a women's title
It
match.
was
Oh,
a
well,
tag match, wasn't he in London?
That was
no,
20.
that
That
was
was 23.
2023. We
20.
need to let's just stop trying to guess and remember when things were.
Anyway, I went into this with if we've got two world title matches, one of those world title matches has got to be a women's match. Um, so that is my reasoning behind wanting to push this match is that there should be a women's world title match. But I understand that you two have probably got the same match. I am
I
guessing.
don't think we have.
I don't think we have because Adam's been saying
Oh,
Universal title and I've been
okay.
saying WWE World Heavyweight
So
Championship,
one of you's got Reigns and Edge.
I've got Reigns and Edge.
So
which
one
was
of
from the
you got
same year that Rhea Ripley faced
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair in front of a crowd.
Yes.
the match that happened before the match you picked.
Yeah.
So what have you got? Reigns versus.
Seth Rollins, 2016 Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah.
Every Shield member holds a title in the night because Ambrose cashed in to close the show.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not.
Rollins' first match back since injury, so what's that, about 7-8 months? And it's such a strange match if you watched it on mute, because if you watch it on mute, the way that the match sort of starts and the way that it sort of flows throughout, you would think that Roman Reigns is the heel and Rollins is sort of the underdog babyface because of the story that they told. Obviously, Steph coming back from that long layoff. Um, I mean, he hadn't missed a beat. Like it was ridiculous how good this match was for someone who had, been on the sidelines.
Hmm.
Then the moment of Reigns going for the spear, Rollins countering it with a pedigree. Obviously, that's something that we saw at this year's WrestleMania. Like to me, I'm trying to think. Was probably like one of the first matches that they had since the Shield split? Like I'm sure they probably had done a couple of things in between, but this was like the first big time pay-per-view match where Reigns was the champion going into it after winning the title at WrestleMania, and Seth trying to get his title back. You got Seth winning, the celebrations, and then Ambrose music hits, and it's just such an iconic moment from all three men who had been on the top of WWE for about 4 or 5 years at that time, and probably a moment that we won't see again, ever in Money in the Bank history.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Okay. So Reigns versus Edge.
Like really good match, but then I mean, if I am throwing the sort of cheeky, this thing happened after the match, you did get the big Cena pop and the Cena return.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
just to sort of
Yeah.
throw that one in. To be honest, I did pick it more because I was like, well, that fits in quite nicely and it stacks my card a little bit more, as opposed to the quality of the match. But it
Yeah,
was, I mean, it's still a very good match,
it is.
still
Yeah,
main
I think
event.
that match is better than the triple threat at Mania.
Interesting.
Mm.
I do.
Um, my only issue with Callum's match is I can't have that because I need Rollins later.
This is gonna make Ty absolutely cackle. The only issue with Adam's match is that I've got Edge in a match later on. So currently winning is Rhea versus Charlotte Flair because we don't
Yeah.
have either of them.
And then at that point, I feel like if me and Callum concede and you get Rhea and Charlotte in there, you need to pick between our tag matches then, and we say goodbye to the Bloodline Civil War. Which at that point, there's
Means
no
Roman
Roman
Reigns
Reigns
isn't
on the
on the
card
card.
at all.
Oh, that's too much. Like this match is the Bloodline Civil War so good.
No, I
Like,
know it is. I know.
and
But by
all that's happened is, but the argument could be that at the end of the day, I'm like, oh yeah, well I won't have this match and we'll have Rhea Charlotte and that's fine. But then the argument is we might not even end up with either one of your money, with your Money in the Bank matches, so it might not make any difference anyway. So,
Because
oh,
I mean, the other thing is that I could just concede altogether and just say I'm just going to have both of yours.
yeah. But then we'd owe you one, and you'd be like, well, what happened my
But then
men?
I feel like you're just winning then.
I'm just winning. Well, I'm not getting me women's Money in the Bank, am I? You know what I mean?
Well,
We can leave it open.
we've still got the singles match and we've still got the men's Money
Yeah.
in the Bank. So
We
if you
can
want to leave it
continue to leave it
open,
open until the whole card is announced, until the whole card is talked about, and then we can work it out as a situation where it's like, okay, well, if we do this, we can't do this, and if we do this, we can't do this.
yeah,
Okay, before this gets dicey and we end up with none of our men's Money in the Bank matches because we've all we've all screwed ourselves over. And it's like, oh, we can't have that match because we've got to have this match and we've got to... So we can leave them open, but
so how many have we got open now? We've got the tag match and
just the tag
the
match in the second world title match.
second world title match. Okay.
Yeah, we can come
imagine a
back
world
to...
of like Bloodline Civil War, Punk Cena, so and so and so and so doesn't get on this. It's almost like we're doing like a backup ultimate Money in the Bank.
Yeah, yeah, we're
Yeah,
doing like an ultimate Money in the Bank, but not the best, the
not
best.
quite
Yeah,
ultimate.
it's
Ultimate
good,
asterisks.
but it's not the best. Yeah, it's okay. Right. So, we'll talk about our singles match. We've left them two open. So it's our singles match, which I am going to assume, again, probably wrongly, we've probably all got the same one.
Okay.
Do
Okay,
you not think we've got the same one?
Well, I feel like we've all got the same person, but it's the opponent
it's the
is.
opponent.
Mm,
Right, okay, so who's your person?
John Cena.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
John
Callum
Cena.
was John Cena. Right, John Cena's in mine. Mine, mine's versus AJ.
Mine's versus AJ.
Mine's versus AJ Styles as well.
There you
Now that
go.
we're
Hey!
Yours.
now that we're able to pick matches from the same year. So initially, because of having Reigns versus Rollins, that being 2016, I was like, well, am I allowed another match from 2016? But
Right.
seeing as we are, I've gone for Cena AJ. Initially, it was Cena versus Owens from the year before.
Mine
Yeah.
too. Mine too. This match is so. To be honest with you, right? I'm not gonna lie. I swerved this match for a little bit because I was like, sure, it's for the world title, but it wasn't. Was it the Royal Rumble or
Yeah,
The
should
Royal
Rumble
Rumble match
17
was.
was.
Royal Rumble was? So I was just like, oh, I can't have that, but I should have that. And then I remembered and was like, actually, I'm sure in the promo they talk about it's like the idea of the two people without belts still
Mhm.
getting called champ or something like that. He says, and I was like, I'm sure this is just because of them just having a match.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and then so yeah, that was my singles match. Like, and then that opens up a lot for me. I'll be honest with you. Once I
Mm.
worked out I could have this match, that was another reason not to have the Punk Cena match.
Yeah.
Which half annoyed me, but half was like, so we
It's
can.
not a bad second to go for, is
No,
it?
no, I don't think. I think the difference between like that match and probably every other singles match is Cena Punk felt like a big deal.
Mm.
I think that's the biggest thing. Even when we went and watched it 10 years after, it still felt like a big deal. It still felt like this is monumental. Like something big's gonna happen. You just had that feeling. Um, but yeah, this was a good one. As I say, the only thing I would say about this match is I hate the ending, but
Yeah.
the whole match is really good.
Yeah.
Um,
It's probably the weakest out of their three as well. And I know that sounds really, really strange, but the other two are such a high bar. And
yeah,
like you said, the fact that we got Gallows and Anderson sort of running in towards the end, your typical Cena ref bump, and AJ winning in that fashion instead of winning, clean like he did at SummerSlam, was frustrating at that time. But I mean,
yeah,
it's still such a good match because it's so rare with Money in the Bank pay-per-views, because a lot of the big names are either in the world title picture or in the Money in the Bank match itself. There really aren't that many sort of just one-on-one singles matches because usually they're in a different area.
mm,
Mm.
Like, so the actual field was very weak. Like, yeah, I had a look when you were doing this podcast. I was like, oh, I can't actually think of too many other singles matches other than the obvious Cena AJ and Cena Owens, and I came across like matches like Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal, or Titus O'Neil versus Rusev for the US
yeah.
title, which I think was the infamous one at that time of the year, where people were sharing the gif of Titus kissing his son on the lips, and
I
it's
don't
like,
remember that.
do you
I
not
don't
remember
remember
that?
that.
You don't
No,
remember Rusev versus Titus O'Neil?
No.
I'm
no.
pretty certain that was from Money in the Bank in 2016,
To
unless
be
I've had
fair,
a weird dream.
I was
And
looking and I seen that Ray versus um Samoa Joe for like the US title or something was on there, and I was like, have I missed that? That's got to be a good match. No, it's a minute and 40 seconds long. I was just
Yeah.
like, no
like the
wonder. I don't
WrestleMania
know.
match all over again.
Yeah, I was like, no
Yeah.
wonder. I have no idea about it. Like it lasted as long as a hiccup. Like, um, so yeah, I think you're right about this being the 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 weakest of the three, because the title match is at Royal Rumble is really good, like really really good.
I think I prefer this to the Battleground match, though. Not the
That was a
Battleground
tag
match, the
match, wasn't
SummerSlam
it?
match. Yeah, the SummerSlam match.
SummerSlam match, I would
No,
say, was better.
I think it's the ending. The ending kind of ruins this
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean,
Mm.
actually.
because
Yeah.
it's like they run in and get involved, and then he literally just like lies on top of him at the end, and it's just like, come
Mm.
on. Like and the match was so good, and then for it to end like, but then you understand why they're doing that because like you want to keep them both looking strong. Like
Mm.
I understand the dynamics behind it, but then it's just a bit like Cena just didn't do anything. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Could
know.
you
It
both
just
just hear the ice cream van then, by the way?
no.
No, I'll have a
Right,
flake
okay, I'm
99
glad.
though.
No, it's just I heard it then, and it just reminded me of all things when I was talking to my therapist earlier in the week. She stopped talking and went, "Is that an ice cream van?" I got really conscious that you could hear it.
Also, did you just call it a flake 99? What is that?
A flake 99.
Like a 99? What do you call it?
Just a
A flake
99.
a flake 99.
No, 99. Just a 99.
99 with a flake.
99 with a flake. No, you get a flake with a 99. You can't get a 99 without the flake.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean it's
that's
not 90. It's not
I,
99 anymore, though, is it?
A
I think
flake, no.
what I've just said is more of like a southwest sort of thing. Despite
Yeah.
living in the Midlands, it's having family in the southwest that will always say, "I'll have a flake 99."
What you call
Yeah.
what you call 10p worth of penny sweets?
10p mix.
10, 10p bag.
10p bag. That
10p
sounds like you're looking for something else. That's under the pudding coming up.
I mean, they don't do 10p bags anymore. You do 50. We have 50p, and it's got like an assortment in.
If you ask someone for a 10 bag in Liverpool, you're getting something else.
I mean, if I could get a 10 bag, that'd be sound. It can't. That's not how it works. Maybe in the 90s you could get a 10 bag. No one does anything in tens. I mean, not that I'd know, but
Oh yeah, of course.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
Yeah.
A 10 bag. Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wondering. because that's what it's like a 10p mix, isn't it?
Yeah, 10p
Like
mix, yeah.
yeah, like 10p mixes kind of we'd use that. What would you call that, Callum?
Usually like something like a pick and mix.
Pick and mix? No,
10p pick
no,
and mix.
yeah, but you're not like you could end up
You're not
spending a
picking.
pound
You're not doing the picking.
or the mixing. Know
Oh,
what I mean?
the mix.
Or the
The,
mixing.
the closest thing
Ah,
I would have to that would be like a Woolworth pick and mix.
yeah. Well, where's pick and mix, guys? See what you're saying. But then,
Ruby got a pick and mix when we were in Haven. She infuriated me with it. Not only did she not fill the cup, right? But I said to her, I said, hang on a minute, there's stuff I'd like here. Let me fill the cup. She just got a load of fried eggs. I was like,
oh
what are you
way,
doing?
oh way.
We're not
I
paying by
remember.
weight, we're paying by the cup. Fill the thing.
Yeah, we've gone to Cheshire Oaks before today to the Haribo shop, and
Yeah.
Thea's wanted to fill a cup with just Malwams. I was like,
No.
just buy a box of Malwams. Like, what are you doing? Like, and apparently you're not allowed to do that. Like, the woman was like, I'm not sure that's okay. I was like, okay, fair play, fair play.
Anyway,
Anyway, anyway, 10p. It confuses me because you haven't got a price on it. So if you said you have a pick a mix and it's like a pound, it's like, oh, I've only got 10p. Sweet. You know what I
I just
mean?
don't think that's something that's done down here in the East Midlands.
you've
No,
fallen too far into this now.
no, sorry. Sorry. Right. Men's Money in the Bank. Do you want to say anything about Cena Styles before we do it? I've got the wrong phone.
No, it was a
Before
good
anything
match.
else.
No,
Okie doke. Okie dokie. Um,
Well, we all can't have the same one now, I think.
no, no, I think we've worked that one out. So, is yours right? Let's eliminate some things. So, are either of yours at WrestleMania?
yes.
No,
Okay. Right.
Helms is.
Right, Callum, what's yours? Seeing as though we've already at your peak here. Well,
Uh, it's
give
the
me just
first
give me the
one.
year. The first
Two
one.
fa 2005 WrestleMania 21. I'm more than happy for you two to veto it because of one of the competitors
Helms put a
involved.
Benoit match in. What's happening?
I literally messaged in the group and said, I am fighting every bit of every fiber in my being, every urge I've got to not put this match in for obvious reasons. And Callum said, oh yeah, that match. It's good that. I'll have that. And I was like, what the I would have had I would have had that one. Oh God. All right.
I
So
mean, I've put it in really to get 6 names in there that I knew I wasn't going to mess up the rest of my card with.
right, okay.
Because initially I was like, well, I want to do WrestleMania 23. That's got Punk. Already said that one.
Yeah.
And I think about 24 Punk, 25 Punk, a couple of the Money in the Bank brand exclusive pay-per-views had names like Seth in, and I was like, well, I want him in that match. And
Yeah.
in the end, it ended up being a case of I could go for that one there in 2005, or I could go for one that's slightly more recent.
Mm.
And in the end, I was like, well, actually, no, think about the match itself was really good,
It's still one of the
despite
best by a
Yeah,
country
yeah, yeah,
mile.
yeah.
and look at what it did to the eventual winner.
Yes.
Yeah, what 9 months later he was there cashing in his briefcase,
Yeah.
and it set it off to a new level completely. And I think of the winners of each sort of Money in the Bank in general, and where it's sort of taken them. Drew McIntyre won it last year. He lost it within about 2 minutes
Lame.
because of Punk screwing him over. Year before, Damian Priest, was it a good match? It was fine, but I would make the case that LA Knight probably should have won.
Mm.
Year before that, 2022, don't even remember. Austin Theory won it. Look at how bad that cash in was. So many in recent years and recent history have been terrible winners. And Edge winning sort of set him off onto that new level. Like he then went on that heel run of feuding with Matt Hardy, the partnership with Lita, the match against Mick Foley at WrestleMania 22. He was such a great first winner because 20 years later, you still remember that cash in. And I don't think it would have worked with anyone else from that match to win it.
Yeah, yeah. Fully agree. Okay, Adam,
Mhm.
is yours between WrestleMania and 2010?
No,
Okay. Yours is in the 2020s?
no.
No, in the it's so yeah. Sorry, hang on. I've missed the whole decade. Is yours is
It's not in the
G.
last 5 years.
Right, okay. Mine is. All right.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay. So, do you want me to tell you mine, or do you want to know you?
I want you to tell me yours because I feel like I'm going to easily win Callum on side with mine.
Okay. All right. I am still like little bit of like information. I'm still not sold on, man. Right? Like it's a really good. It was really good. The winner was sound. Like it was proper put together well. There was some good people in it. There was some terrible people in it. Like I really like it. I still really like it. I watched it today. It was super good, but I'm still not like this isn't the strongest. It was just I don't want to do the number one, and this clown at the bottom decided let's do number one.
It's usually
Uh,
me.
I know. So my men's Money in the Bank is the 2021 Money in the Bank, where
one
Big
that
E
Big E
win.
won.
Yeah, but there's 8 people in it. So it's Big E, KO, Seth Rollins, John Morrison, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Matt Riddle, and Shinsuke. But it was more because, like, obviously having Seth in there is like pretty cool and then having Drew in there is pretty cool. But then you got Ricochet who like just is like a freaking bully. He just jumps anywhere and does anything. Riddle was doing quite a lot of that. Morrison was doing quite a lot of like jumpy, splitty bits and all that. So it was high flying and that's kind of what you want. Um, it could have been better, but it was one of them where I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm not putting the first one, and then any others, I was kind of like, you've got Punk in there, or you've got like Seth in there, so you can have a different match. It was just a nightmare. But I do thoroughly enjoy this match. Like I did enjoy it, and as you say, Big E winning did catapult him into the next level, which is what you want. So that is also a good thing. Um, what's yours?
This is
So
2015.
mine, 6 people in it,
Okay.
and arguably, maybe apart from one of them, but you, Ty, you quite like this one person that I was going to mention. Um, our Money in the Bank stalwarts make the match the kind of match that it is.
Okay.
So Jack Swagger, who you
Oh.
like, Ty,
I love Jack
no,
Swagger.
yeah, Dolph Ziggler,
Oh, show off. Love that guy.
yeah, RVD,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the person who's been in the most matches without winning it, Kofi Kingston,
Yeah.
yeah,
Been in about 14 of them, never even touched the briefcase.
Dean Ambrose,
I like Dean Ambrose.
and the eventual winner, Seth Rollins, Money in the Bank 2014.
24.
Very, very good match. That year that they could have put Reigns in there as well and had all former Shield members in that match, but they didn't. They put Reigns in the one for the title instead.
Weird that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is weird.
Weird.
But this led to Rollins being the architect, having the Money in the Bank briefcase, led to the biggest cash in at WrestleMania, at Callum's favorite WrestleMania. You know, this is a very, very good match.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. So, okay. If we go back to the tag matches,
Yeah,
right, we can still, with your two, we can still have all three of those matches, can't we?
yeah,
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? So we can
yeah,
pick the tag match now and it will not affect anything else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right?
hmm
Because we've
So
got
you already scrapping your Money in the Bank? You just
no,
pushing yours to
no.
one
What
side?
I'm saying is none of the people who are in any of these None of the
are
people who were in our
in.
Money in the Banks,
Mm,
or yeah, are
Yeah,
in that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
tag
yeah, yeah,
match.
mm.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. So, who wants to make a case for their tag match? I mean, I'm
Right. If we did the thing where I had to pick somebody else's other than mine,
yeah.
I would pick yours, Ty.
Okay, but the argument is it would end up me getting quite a lot of. Right, all right. I I will bail my tag team match, and you two can argue amongst yourselves if I can have Rhea Charlotte.
See, but at that point, if we're collaboratively coming up with the ultimate Money in the Bank card,
Yeah.
for me to say that I would pick Roman Reigns versus Edge and the Usos versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan over the Bloodline Civil War and a match between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, I'd be lying.
Okay.
So I think purely for the stacked nature of the card,
Okay.
I want the Bloodline Civil War in there.
Okay. So, Callum, where are you thinking?
Well, I need to see why my dog's barking for about a minute, so that's really fascinating. What I would say before legging it downstairs to make sure she's all right and hasn't, wet herself or something, is it's really difficult because your title match is Reigns Edge, my title match is Reigns Rollins. So we're sort of losing two really quite big world title matches
That's what I mean.
by putting in a Bloodline Civil War match, which was really good, but at the same time,
It was better than your two, I'll be honest.
fine. Are we really going to put a woman's title match that Adam thought happened in an empty arena, and
This is
I'd
what I'm
completely
saying, right?
forgotten? But I'll let you discuss that whilst I sprint downstairs.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
so
because the other
Careful
thing, Ty,
editing though.
is we unfortunately, and now that he's put his headset down, we can't take Callum's world title match because if we take Callum's world title match, that means that my Money in the Bank and your Money in the Bank can't happen.
this is true. Which is why I'm
So
saying if you have the Bloodline Civil War by proxy, you have to have my women's world title.
yeah, but if we have my world title match then, which is Reigns and Edge, we
Yeah.
can't have yours.
No.
And then at that point, it comes down to a decision of my tag match, at which point I've then got both in,
No,
or
wait,
Callum's tag match.
we can have your if you have Reigns. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you're not talking the money in the bank, you're talking
yeah.
the world title.
It's either I have both of my picks, or you have both of your picks, or we go Edge Reigns, which is my pick,
Yeah.
and then we end up with Callum's tag match, which is the Usos versus the Street Profits.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then but then
And
who's
then
money in the bank?
that's it. I think Callum has to pick that because I think we're both saying we're vetoing Callum's pick.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
And to be
Ah,
fair, I suppose I know we said the rule of having a Money in the Bank ladder match from a Mania, but it's not an ultimate Money in the Bank pay per view, then is it?
true. True.
So
So if we add, so if we do
we do Reigns
uh,
and Edge,
Reigns and Edge, right? So we have that one, okay,
we
which is
do
yours.
Usos versus Street Profits.
Hang on a sec. So that one's mine, right? That one's yours, and that one's Callum's. So if we have that one, and then we have Uso's Profits, which is
Callum's.
Callum's, yours, mine. So we have Callum's Profits, and then we've automatically got um all of our singles match.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we've got so basically we've got a unanimous world title match,
yeah,
a unanimous singles match,
yeah,
a pretty much used to picking the women's match, which I'm not mad
Yeah,
about because it was one of them two anyway.
yeah,
Um, and then you've got a Callum pick, a your pick, and then Callum needs to decide between mine or yours.
yeah.
Um, which is better, 2021 or 2014? Which I think he's going to pick yours, if I'm completely honest with you. Like, which is fine. I'm not sold on mine, so it's fine. I'm a little bit, I don't know, it's a weird one. It was so hard to do this. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it was so hard. And then SummerSlam as well, we've talked about doing. And SummerSlam's going to be a nightmare because it's just been going forever. Like, and I'm picking
But I
that.
think with that, we'd have to do a sort of like definitely a women's title match, and it can be
Oh,
any
yeah, yeah, yeah,
mention
yeah,
of the
yeah.
women's title.
Yeah,
Definitely a world title. Definitely, you could do an IC and a US because it's been
definitely.
there long
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. Just do 2 nights. We do two
Yeah,
nights. Not good.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Callum, we've decided it out, yeah.
Okay.
So basically, we've landed on we've done the we're not going to show our working because everyone's already heard it, right? So basically, we've got our tag match. We've picked yours, right?
Okay.
So yours, the Usos versus the Profits from 2022, right?
I
And
should
then
stay out
we've
the room more often.
I know, and then we've got our second world title match is Roman versus Edge, which is Adam's pick, which I'm
Yeah.
not happy about, but it's okay. There is still women on the card, so we're okay. And then the men's Money in the Bank, we've decided that yours doesn't really count, and you've got to pick in,
Yeah.
because yours is at WrestleMania, so you've got to pick mine at 2021 or Adam's at 2014. Now, be nice about this, all right? Don't be like, oh yeah, it's Roland's up, oh, I want to kiss him. Don't be like that, all right? Actually think about it, all right? And you get the deciding pick of what Money in the Bank we have for the ultimate Money in the Bank. Are you okay with us vetoing yours because it's technically not a Money in the Bank pay-per-view?
Well, we've got Edge on the card, and he won that Money in the Bank, so you know,
There you go then.
that is the
There,
easiest solution there.
there you go. Should
Now,
have put it like that rather than saying you're wrong, shouldn't I? Damn
now
it.
I don't have a photo of Big E in my room, but I do have a photo of Seth Rollins in my room. Um, I think about what that win led to, and I know Big E winning the Money in the Bank was a fantastic moment for him. But
Hmm.
all I can think of is then him losing the title at was it day one?
Day one.
Day one in 2022 to Brock when it was supposed to be Brock versus Reigns. Reigns, I think, may have contracted COVID,
Oh yeah, remember that? Yeah.
and Big E
Oh
then
boy.
defending his title in like a was it a 4-way or a 5-way that had Lashley, Brock, Rollins, and Owens or something daft like that.
Yeah.
And in that match, you had other wrestlers in there that could have easily been pinned, but now Brock was the one that pinned Big E for the title with a solitary F5.
Yeah.
Um, whereas Rollins' Money in the Bank win came at such a great time for him. He just started off as this new heel, part of the Authority. He needed that win to sort of cement himself as the top heel on the brand. Um, and then the cash in itself is just it's iconic. Yeah, I know Damian Priest did it at last year's WrestleMania, but I mean Seth cashing in main event at WrestleMania 31 is what the Money in the Bank briefcase is all about. You know, creating that new top star, and yeah, that's exactly what the 2014 Money in the Bank match did. It created a new star in Seth Rollins. So I'm afraid, Ty, Adam gets the pick.
There's what 6 hours of Money in the Bank pay-per-views over the last week for absolutely nothing. I'm behind on everything else because all I've watched is WWE Money in the Bank, which is all on Netflix, by the way. It's quite good. Um, although I will say, if anybody, because I'm convinced they do listen, if anybody from WWE and anybody's got any like insight into Netflix, if somebody could just like add a little match tab on when you're watching old stuff, that'd be fantastic because I hate fast forwarding through like 4 hours worth of stuff looking for a match. It's really annoying. Anyway,
God,
so
the kids aren't even here, and I'm getting text about how long am I going to be.
um, right, ultimate main event, ultimate Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We have got opening with a women's Money in the Bank ladder match from 2024. Then we've got our first world title match, which was unanimous at Punk and Bryan no DQ from 2012. Then we've got a tag match, the Usos versus the Profits from 2022, which I'm probably going to go and watch tonight because I don't remember it. A second world title, which is Roman Reigns versus Edge from
21.
2021.
Cena's return at the end.
Yeah,
We're not
2021.
counting Rollins interfering as being part of the match, are we?
And then we've got a single match, Cena versus Styles, which was unanimous, and then a men's Money in the Bank, which is from 2014 when Seth wins. We all good? That's
Yeah.
a solid card, that. I mean, I didn't get any picks I wanted apart from the ones that you also picked, but whatever. we move. You know what I mean? Is there anything else either of you would like to add before I wrap this up?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure when this episode's going to get dropped, but if it's
Straight
before,
away,
but
tonight.
if it's before this Saturday's Money in the Bank, which it looks like it will be,
You hope so, yeah.
I was so furious on Monday night / Tuesday morning when Punk lost that qualifying match because in my head and in my heart of hearts, being the stupid kid who is a huge fan of CM Punk, was like, he's going to win the qualifying match. Then he'll win Money in the Bank. And then 14 years later on, he will cash in on John Cena to once again become world champion. And then that little twerp, El Grande Americano, has to spoil it for everyone.
He was going to swear.
I heard that. I heard that little swear then.
Yeah.
A little face. Yeah, I was shocked it didn't go through. But, you know, everything happens for a reason, as we've just been talking about. Yeah, as always, follow us, all that stuff. SLTD, wherever you see us, blah, blah, blah. All that good stuff. We are ending this season's Predictions League at Money in the Bank with the bonus of triple. What?
I didn't know about that.
I sent you an email.
Did you? Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's literally in the email.
You're about 7th or 8th. You have to go quite far down to see your name on the
Yeah.
leaderboard.
Shut your face, you.
I
His
mean,
daughter's number one. It's not a
all of
thing.
you should be ashamed of yourselves because you're getting beat by a 7-year-old.
I mean, I'm 4th at least. So I'm in the Champions
good.
League place.
Fourth's good. I like that. Yeah. So we've got a bonus round of Wales Collide. Are you two watching Wales Collide? He's going to have a little
Yeah.
badge. Well, our next episode will be our Money in the Bank reactions.
No, our next episode will be our chat with Hot Tag Foundation.
Yes, sorry, it will be. We've got a special guest from Hot Tag Foundation. Then after that, it will be Money in the Bank reactions. And I'm assuming we'll talk a little bit about Worlds Collide as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. But yeah, as always, stay safe, stay entertained, and watch the wrestling you want to watch, unless you want to compile your own Ultimate Money in the Bank match. It's very hard. And go back and watch some Money in the Bank stuff. And we will catch you next time. Bye.